Good evening, good evening, good evening. And again, it is time for Queen's Table. I can't believe it's Thursday again. So welcome everyone and thank you for watching this evening. So tonight's amazing special guest is the lovely and the newly crowned Mrs. Atlantic UK, Natasha Streatfield. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very good, thank you. Did you have to have a little jig to the music just before this began?
I did actually. I've been bopping away.
It's got to be done, isn't it?
Where's she gone? So I'll just bop to myself.
Yeah, it's a little thing we have to do on a Thursday night. Have a little dance before we go live. It makes it all fun, doesn't it? So it's got to be done. So how you had a good week? You look incredible. How is that crown fit in your head? It definitely suits you.
Oh, I love it. I feel like I want to do the housework in it.
Oh, you so need to do that anyway.
I mean, I may have already done that.
Yeah, just go to the supermarket, casually, just pop it on.
I do pop out in the garden every now and again when it's not raining with it on my head. And Mark's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, well, I've got nowhere else to go.
That's amazing.
I've got to wear it.
Yeah, you've got to. It's a very, very amazing achievement, and you'd be proud of that crown, girl. That's amazing. So, what made you choose the Atlantic system in the first place?
I think I'd done a bit of research and saw that they were doing, it was all about mind and mental health. And I suffered with panic attacks and anxiety many, many years ago. I've watched my granddad with Alzheimer's. I've got a really good friend who suffered with mental health. And just, it all comes back to your brain and your mind, doesn't it? And I thought, do you know what? I think this is the one for me. And I honestly entered and never looked back. It has been the most incredible experience.
And yeah, it is a lovely system, and
it really is.
Romy is fantastic anyway, and she's perfect director. And congratulations to your director as well on last weekend. That was very exciting.
I sat there glued watching, and every time it cut off and was like, come back in half an hour, I was like, no, I want to know now.
Oh, it was fabulous, wasn't it? I must admit, I was sat there very excited again. I mean, when I watched the Atlantic finals, that was a fantastic night. I mean, I got all dressed up and it actually felt like we were there. So how did you find competing virtually?
I found it different. I mean, I've only competed once before anyway, so I had a little thing to compare to, but I still had an amazing time. Yeah, we missed out on a few things. And yes, it would have been lovely, especially as I won, it would have been lovely if my family were in the audience and I was able to have a hug from other finalists and other queens. That would have been lovely. And we was able to go out for appearances, all those sort of things. It would have been lovely. But I can't complain because I had such a lovely experience and I had a lovely build up to the final. So would we have changed it? Yeah, if we could, it would have been amazing. But I still had an amazing experience and I won out of it. So I wouldn't change it for the world. It was brilliant for me. It was my year. So I'm really proud and I loved being virtual. I got to sit there all dressed up, watching everyone. It was great fun. Because if you're competing, you can't see everyone else, can you?
No, that's it. I have to think of it like that, I suppose. It's quite strange, isn't it? You've gone down in history, though, really, isn't it? Because I know this has been an extremely difficult time for a lot of people this last year and a bit. But that is something so positive to come out of that. And, it's going to be historic, isn't it? Because not every sort of pageant's going to be online, So it'd be really good to look back at. And the video was amazing, and obviously the Pageantland.
I know.
Yeah, Pageantland Jess, the founder of Pageantland, she was amazing.
She was brilliant.
Yeah,
she was so good.
Yeah, it was a thoroughly great evening. I really, really enjoyed, and I think that it was just so put together so well, wasn't it? The whole thing was great.
Because obviously we had to send in our walks and send in our photos and things like that. So I kind of thought, oh, it's going to be put together somehow and we'll be able to watch everyone else. But how it was put together was actually like watching a live final, wasn't it? It was brilliant. So I was really impressed. Like, Romy is just so organised as well. She's incredible.
It was fabulous. Just tell me, did you win some side awards as well, if I remember rightly?
I won Best Smile, Popularity and Publicity Side Awards, which was an amazing build up to the actual final. Winning those throughout the week was just, it gets you on a bit of a high, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you must admit, even me just watching it throughout the week, I was like turning on my phone, saying, "Oh, that's the next bit." It was like the build up the week before, and then the final. It was. I did feel sad the next week though. It was like a pageant come down. Like I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's finished now." So yeah,
so we had all that on the Saturday night, and obviously the Sunday you're on a real high, and the Monday it's back to work, and you're like, "Oh, it's over."
So how was that moment when you got crowned Mrs. Atlantic UK? How did you feel?
Oh, it was amazing. I felt over the moon. I was a little bit shocked to start with, and Mark was like screaming. I was like, "Will you be quiet? I want to double check they said my name." Just a minute.
That's amazing.
It's just want to check, a really overwhelming feeling, but like my phone was going crazy and it's so overwhelming, and I was trying to log on and I was like, I don't know how to log on to get onto live, and you're shaking at the same time for excitement. But in a way I was like, oh, I wish my mum was here, because it's like lovely having a hug off your husband and your dog, but my mum would have loved to have seen that winning moment like in person, or if she could come round, because at that point we couldn't allow anyone in the house, could we? So that was the only thing. Like, her and my husband are the biggest supporters and are behind me all the way. So for her to not be able to sit with me, I think for me it felt a bit like, oh. So for her, she must have felt it as well. But then she rang me for about an hour and kept me up all night anyway, talking with excitement. So
oh, that's lovely. But she can
like, Mum, I'm tired now. I want to go to bed.
3 o'clock in the morning, still chatting away. Yeah. But she can still come and see your walk next year, though, because you'll be doing your handover.
She walk, can. Yes, she will be there, and my stepdad. And I hope my brother and sister-in-law actually watched the whole final, and I think they enjoyed it. I don't really know if they knew what pageantry was, but they watched it and really enjoyed it. So I'd like to think that they could come and watch as well, which would be lovely. But yeah, my mum will be there cheering me on.
Oh, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. It's next April, isn't it? If I think I'm right. I can't remember the date.
Yes. End of April. Yeah. I want to say the 23rd and 24th, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what I remember, but I don't want to say the exact in case I get it wrong. But we could also go to the Atlantic site, and it will be there.
It will be there.
It will be there. It will be there. So it's Epilepsy Week this week. So can you tell us a little about your own struggle with epilepsy?
So I was diagnosed at 17, and I was put on the wrong medication. You know, when you're diagnosed with something, sometimes you're just thrown in at the deep end. Try this. And I did, and it knocked me out, I'd say, for a couple of years. So all my friends were going off driving, going out clubbing, drinking, and I was at home struggling. And that's why I ended up with panic attacks and anxiety, because it just changed me as a person. And then one day my mum had enough, to be honest, and she was like, I can't deal with watching you like this. You're suffering. This is not you. Medication shouldn't do this to a person. And no one was really listening, in all fairness, doctors wise. They're like, no, we've given her the right stuff. So she paid a neurologist, a top consultant in Colchester, and we went there, and he was amazing with me. He sat with me for a good hour. We went through everything of like my side effects, the medication I was on, which was 2 different lots at the same time. And he said, you know what, I think you're on the wrong ones. Let's strip it back. So I gradually came off all my medication, and he put me on a totally different one. And do you know what? Touch wood, touch everything, and fingers crossed for everything. That was when I was about 21, and I'm now 35, and I've not had a seizure since. And I've got my life back. So it does go to show that sometimes if you know something's wrong, like I knew that wasn't me as a person. I'm an outgoing person, you know, and to be sat at home crying or having a panic attack about going out, that wasn't me. So if you feel like something's wrong, go and see a doctor, go and see, pushed to be seen and heard, and you will get seen. And it worked for me, and I can't thank that neurologist enough, because I've been fine ever since, and I got my life back.
Oh, that's such a lovely story. I'm so glad that, you know, you moved forward with it, because it must have been very difficult. But to just, you know, see someone professional that has helped you, that is absolutely amazing. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I learned to drive from it. I was able to travel again. Because I had moved out and I had to move back home because I couldn't look after myself at that point. I was a totally different person. As soon as I'd like click of a finger got myself back, I was out the house again. I'd moved out. I'd learned to drive, and you know what? I haven't looked back. Love you, Mum. Love you, my stepdad. But my life is not living with you.
Oh, bless you. That's turned out really lovely. So that's wonderful. It's really nice when it's a happy ending like that, isn't it? And look what you've achieved.
Which
as well.
is not for everyone. I know, and unfortunately, epilepsy isn't as easy as a story for everyone. That's something you do have to remember. Like, I've been very fortunate that I can get on with my life because I've got seen and I've got the right medication. And I obviously, some people have multiple seizures a day, and I don't know what I'd be like if I didn't have any medication, but it's not the same for everyone. And some people's lives are very different to mine, but I am very, very fortunate.
Yeah, I'm really happy though that you are, and you've achieved a lot, and that's a fantastic happy ending. I like happy endings. So a few months ago you did a memory walk. Could you tell me about this?
So we've normally done memory walks from my granddad getting diagnosed. I think it was about 11 years ago, something like that. He got diagnosed. He passed away in 2019, but we'd always have tried to do the memory walk every year. And obviously, I think it was 2020, the pandemic hit, so we couldn't do it. But I just done it on my own with my husband and the dog. I think we raised about £100. But the actual memory walk is every March. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. So I planned my route. It was 17 miles. And my mum said, well, I'll come with you. Then my sister-in-law said, oh, I'll come with you. But I hadn't told them the planned route. So they thought they were just going to have sort of like a 5-mile stroll somewhere. But no, it was 17 miles. And actually, they really enjoyed it. They loved it. They were like, so what are we going to do to beat it next year? And incredibly, we raised £330. So for everyone.
Done. That's amazing.
I know. And the fact I was like dreading getting back to my house with them, thinking, oh, they're going to hate me. They're going to hate me. But they sat on the floor and was like, I'm tired. But what are you going to plan for next year, Tash? And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's brilliant. And it's so nice you all got involved together as well, isn't it? So, you know, like going on to your platform then, is it to do with epilepsy and Alzheimer's then? Do you have a platform around those? Or
my main platform is Alzheimer's, but I will raise money. I will raise awareness for mind and epilepsy, but my main platform is Alzheimer's.
Okay, that's a really good platform to have. So what sort of campaigns or awareness campaigns have you done for this?
I actually set up my own campaign, which is called I Am Me, which I'd used from the letters out of Alzheimer's, which I felt quite chuffed with myself that I came up with that myself. So it's just to say and remind everyone that just because you've got Alzheimer's, it doesn't make you a different person. Like, I've watched my granddad, and yes, he still liked to be talked to about things that he used to do. He'd still like to go for a walk. He'd still like to listen to the same music, even when he deteriorated so badly towards the end. Still put the same music on that he listened to. They can still hear you. You know, don't just assume because they've become a different person, because they do, that don't write them off. You know, they if they like to garden, go out and garden with them still. Just make it safer for them. And so many people got involved, and it was really, really nice and overwhelming. I was really surprised how many people got involved. And hopefully, if Boris allows us, I would like to organise maybe a little tea party or a summer get together, because obviously pageantry has brought so many of us finalists together, become friends, but it's all been over the internet, hasn't it, the last year? So it would be nice if I could organise something for I Am Me and raise a bit more money and get us all together again.
That would be lovely. I mean, I'll definitely be up for that, because I enjoyed in the campaign myself, and I loved reading all of the ones. I seen all of them, and it lit up the social media, and it was just lovely just to have the few bullet points of each person that makes them them. I thought it was brilliant. It was so nice. I really enjoyed that.
Alzheimer's is such a horrible disease to watch someone go through that they lose their dignity. And but you know, if you're going to be supportive and watch someone, I've been a carer on a dementia ward before, and just hold their hand, just take them for a walk, you know, don't treat them any differently, just do the same activities that they used to enjoy. They're still a human being, they're still the same person, but I think sometimes that can get forgotten, sadly. And especially if that person ends up in a nursing home, then they do get forgotten sometimes by their family, by their friends, or carers. I've been it myself. We're so busy that sometimes it's just another person. But I loved caring. I done it as like one of my first jobs, but I found I wanted to be more involved, and I became an activity coordinator, which was so much better for me because I got to spend time with the residents. I could play games, I could sing songs, we could do all the things that they always wanted to do and always loved doing. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing that job, and it was such an achievement to get it. And when you go home at the end of the day knowing you've made some people happy, that's, you know, when you're a winner then.
I completely agree with that, because I've worked with vulnerable adults myself, and you do have that. Just, it's lovely, isn't it? But you know, with me though, I get too attached to people, though. I just love spending time with them, and just you know, so
you end up with your favourite people, don't you? And but I just love it, and they have some lovely, funny, interesting stories as well. You could talk to old people all day.
I've heard many as well, actually. So yeah, it's fabulous. Yeah, no, I could imagine, obviously, because of data protection, that you couldn't discuss it, but I probably could imagine the sort of stories that you do get told, for sure. So as a fellow presenter, this is another thing you do as well. Tell me about your presenting and interviewing lots of lovely ladies on Crowns and Sashes magazine. How's that going?
So this was a shock at the beginning of the year. So I saw Charlotte from Crowns and Sashes had put something on social media about they were looking for some help. So I applied for it thinking it was just a bit of social media sort of reposting, had a chat with her and Lindsay as well, and left it at that. Didn't hear anything. This was on the Saturday. Didn't hear anything on the Monday. I was busy at work. In the afternoon, she rang me. We got talking for about an hour before she got to the point, bless her. So I was like, I haven't got it. It doesn't matter. But then she's like, we'd like to ask you if you'd be the media host, if you'd like to interview people. Well, I jumped at the chance, thinking, oh my God, I'd love this. Got off the phone thinking, I've never done this before. Actually, it's so much fun, and I get to speak to so many people. Like you last Thursday, your story was one of my highlights, and I won't ruin it until your interview is out.
Yeah, seriously, I think we need to talk
some of the things I hear.
Honestly, yeah, this is incoming.
Yeah,
we did laugh.
Pending. I think you've got a couple of weeks.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah,
I absolutely love it. The amount of people I speak to about different platforms, different systems, about their backgrounds, where they work, where they've grown up. I just love it. It's brilliant. And I haven't looked back at that either since. And I think me and Charlotte voice note every day, all day. And I have the most ridiculous questions for her sometimes. She must just sit there and go, oh, no.
I think Jess has had that from me today, actually. I think I've voice noted her about 5 times today. So that sounds familiar. But no, it's brilliant though, isn't it? I completely agree. I mean, it really has been lovely doing this weekly and speaking to so many lovely ladies and hearing about their stories and their platforms and about their systems and what they want to do or what they've achieved. Or it's lovely. It's just really, really lovely. And it's been nice because you kind of think
time to get everything fitted in is just incredible. And I think, do you go to bed sometimes?
Yeah, it's busy, but it's good. But I just can't wait.
Amazing.
It's like people like yourself that I've met in lockdown virtually. I just can't wait to meet in real life. But I think it will be chaos when we meet in real life, to be honest. I think we'll talk for about 5 hours. So, but it'd be good. So, a last question for you before we let you go this evening. So it's just a little fun question. What is your favourite round and why?
I love fashion. I feel like I'm quite a big personality and I love everyone having a personality. And I think fashion shows that, doesn't it? That's the round that you can strut your stuff. You can wear the vibrant colours. You can do with your big skirt, sometimes swishing. I love fashion. If I could just do fashion all day, but in a different outfit, I'd love it.
It is fun, isn't it? It's so much fun.
I love
and
it.
I do really enjoy watching that round as well. When you see live finals or even finals virtually, it's like, oh, it's the fashion wear round. Oh, what they're going to wear. You know, it's quite exciting, isn't it? Obviously, the evening.
Well, I'm quite an upbeat person, so my walk is quite fast as well. So it suits me down to the ground, because evening I'm like counting in my head, thinking 1, 2, trying to walk slower.
Trying to slow down a bit, you know, yeah.
Whereas fashion, I can just strut and go ahead. I love it.
Oh, it's fabulous. And you looked amazing and you did so well. Your fashion wear was absolutely stunning. So
thank you.
But no, well, thank you so much for coming on this evening, and congratulations on becoming Mrs. Atlantic UK. Here at Pageantland, we are so chuffed for you, and just want to say a massive congratulations again. So thank you for coming on. So next
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. So next week on Queen's Table, we've got the very lovely Chloe Adkin, who is Miss Nottingham Galaxy. So I can't wait to see Chloe next week. And then again tonight, if you still want a bit more of a pageant fix, jump over to Clubhouse, and it's Queens talking about interview practice tonight. So that is at 8:15. Jump over to Clubhouse so you can have a little bit more of Pageantland this evening. So thank you for joining us, and I hope everybody has a lovely bank holiday weekend, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye.